The Schlep Saga is one of the most recent instances of Roblox banning, something that a lot of people did unlike. But this time, it was a lot worse. And the outrage from the community was so bad that it actually made the news. This controversy has many sides to it. But what really happened? Why did Roblox ban it? What is the history behind it? And why do some people think that this was an overreaction and others think it was the right thing to do? That's what we're going to be getting into today. I personally don't have an issue with Roblox banning things that are exploits or hacks. If anything, I think they should do it more often because exploits like that ruin the game for everyone else who is using them. However, where I draw the line is when Roblox starts banning things that aren't hacks or exploits. And this is exactly what happened with the Schlep. For those of you that don't know, the Schlep was a game pass in the game block eating simulator by the developer Nandev. And if you bought this game pass, it gave you access to a special type of block called a Schlep block. These blocks were just different colors and shapes than the normal blocks. And they didn't really do anything special. They couldn't be used to build anything or gain any sort of advantage. They were purely cosmetic. However, these blocks had one major drawback. If you ate them, instead of giving you health, it took away 1 health. At first glance, this might seem kind of dumb, but there is actually a pretty clever trick that players discovered that involved using these blocks in certain If you combined the Schlep block with the Get Down emote, it would cause your character to fall down to their knees. But if you used the Salsa emote with the Schlep block, it would make your character go into a push-up position. By doing this, you could essentially crawl around the map while keeping yourself hidden from enemies in Block Eating Simulator. In addition, if you used a dance emote while in this position, you would do a little wiggle dance, which was funny to a lot of people. So this made the Schlep blocks kind of rare, because they were just useless and gave you a cool way to get around the map. It was also pretty hard to get them. You had to beat the game with 0 health, which was not easy. This made the Schlep blocks somewhat of a flexible, because not everyone had them. So people started making games specifically designed to let you get the Schlep blocks easily. There was even a game called Schlep Simulator that was created just for this purpose. In general, I don't really see an issue with this. Like, people create games for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes they want to make a game that's fun to play. Sometimes they just want to show off their building skills. And sometimes they just want to make a game so that they can get a flexible... The Schlep was technically a hack because it gave you an advantage in the game. But at the same time, it wasn't like it was game-breaking. The worst thing that could happen to you is that you lost 1 health, which is not that big of a deal. Also, if you ask me, I think it's kind of stupid that you can lose health in the first place. A block that makes you lose health shouldn't exist in the first place. But again, I'm not going to lose any sleep over Roblox banning something that gives you a small advantage in the game. However, that's not the reason that Roblox banned the Schlep. Instead, the reason that Roblox banned the Schlep was because they said it was violating their anti-bot policy. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really see how this violates their anti-bot policy. Bots are usually programs that automate tasks in Roblox Studio. I don't think anyone was using the Schlep blocks to make bots. Plus, even if they were, bots are not allowed in the first place, so why were they even worrying about it? Regardless, the Schlep was banned on October, and 2 days later on October, the developer of Block Eating Simulator announced that the Schlep block would be removed from everyone's inventory and the game passes would be refunded. Obviously, this didn't sit well with a lot of people who felt like they had earned the Schlep block, and they were upset that Roblox was taking it away from them. But that's not even the beginning of the story. On October, the front page of the Roblox website featured an article titled, "Roblox bans thousands of accounts for exploiting." The article talked about how Roblox recently took action against thousands of accounts that were caught using exploits. Some of the exploits mentioned were the chicken gun and the bad business gun from the game Murder Mystery 2, as well as some emotes that allowed you to fly. However, the article also mentioned something that no one expected. It said that some creators were exploiting the system by selling access to these hacks in games. Now, this didn't mention anything about the Schlep specifically, but a lot of people assumed that this was what Roblox was talking about, since it was the only thing that was remotely similar to this. So someone asked on Twitter if this article was talking about the Schlep, and the Roblox Twitter account responded by saying, "We are not able to comment on specific exploits." So this didn't really clear anything up. It just made people wonder what exactly Roblox was talking about. On October, a content creator named Danny published a video explaining his thoughts on the situation. He said that he thought that Roblox was overreacting and that banning people who bought the Schlep block was wrong. 2 days later, on October, the Roblox Twitter account posted another tweet that said, "An update on our recent post regarding exploits. We understand that the actions we took may have impacted some who did not violate our policies, and we apologize for that." They then went on to say that they were taking steps to make sure that people who did unviolate any policies would not be affected by the changes. But again, they still didn't mention anything about the Schlep specifically. On October, another content creator named Brooke responded to the Twitter account and asked them if they could clarify what exactly they meant when they said that some creators were selling access to hacks. Finally, on October, Roblox responded and said, "We appreciate you bringing this to our attention. To be clear, we have not permanently banned anyone for having the Schlep block." They then went on to explain that the creators who were selling access to hacks were doing this by creating secret servers where they gave some of their friends the Schlep block so that they could get an advantage in the game. This is confirmed by a tweet that Roblox made on October that said, "We've permanently banned several accounts for secretly giving their friends an advantage in block eating simulator through a special server feature." So it turns out that the reason Roblox banned the Schlep block was because some people were abusing the secret servers feature to give their friends an advantage in the game. Now, in my opinion, I think Roblox was right to ban the Schlep blocks in this scenario because people were using them in a way that was not intended, and it was giving them a huge advantage. However, the way that Roblox handled the situation was very poor. They never should have announced the ban in that article on the front page of the website, and they definitely should have been more clear about what they were talking about when people started asking questions on Twitter. It seems like they didn't even know what to say, and they were just trying to avoid admitting that they made a mistake. Also, if you ask me, it seems like Roblox was trying to make it seem like the Schlep was some sort of virus that was spreading throughout the community. Remember that tweet that they made on October that said, "We are not able to comment on specific exploits"? Well, it turns out that they were able to comment on the specific exploit, but they chose not to because it turns out that there was actually a second exploit that was going around that allowed you to reset your character as health in block eating simulator. This exploit was going around at the same time as the but Roblox didn't talk about it until after they had already banned the Schlep. So it seems like they knew that the Schlep wasn't the only problem. They just chose to make it seem like it was so that they could avoid backlash. In the end, though, Roblox did apologize for banning innocent people, but I think it's too little too late. And it makes me wonder what other controversial things are going to happen in the future.